Hello, beloved. Good to see you once again. Still on the subject matter, the pulpit. The first episode, we looked at the origin of pulpit, and we realized that pulpit is from the Latin word pulpitium, which means a scaffold or a platform. And we further establish that pulpit is your life. Pulpit is the things you do. Pulpit can be your giftings. Pulpit can be your talent. Pulpit can be your calling. And pulpit can as well, for me to add today, be the family that you belong to. However, we made a pointer that in the second episode, we will be dealing and considering with the concept of pulpit. So the subtopic today is the concept of pulpit. And when we talk about concept, we are talking about what is the idea behind this pulpit. Why has pulpit become a subject matter? What is the reason? What is the purpose of pulpit? So in order to establish this truth and fact, we need to consider the concept, the whole coverage of what pulpit is all about. And today on the concept, we will be looking at the traditional concept of pulpit. We will be looking at the conventional concept of pulpit, and also we will be looking at the spiritual concept of pulpit, which is our major core and driving force for this conversation. Now, when talking about pulpit, we established that is a place where you stand and preach a message, communicate an idea, talk about a matter, provide a solution to a problem. It's a place where people reach onto others or onto situations that surrounds a community, a people, or a body with the relevant information, the relevant idea, and possibly the relevant power that is needed at the moment to change circumstances and situation around. Without a message, the purpose of a pulpit is abused. So wherever a pulpit is established, a message must be preached. However, when we talk about a message, we'll begin to look at it from the traditional point of view, the concept issue of what the traditional point of view, the traditional concept to what is known as pulpit. Listen carefully. Traditionally, from onset where we read in Nehemiah chapter number 8 verse 4, by tradition, if you must communicate to a certain tribe, a certain people, if you must read from the sacred book and to minister importantly to the matters and the lives of people, you must consider to stand in the pulpit in order to address the people. So it was a tradition in those days. It was a tradition in Israel that if you want to read from the Torah, you must stand on the pulpit in order to reach a people. What is the further traditional reason for a pulpit? It helps you to stay in an elevated point, literally above every other person that is within the vicinity, the territory, the building or the house that you are in. It helps you to stay above them. It helps your voice to be audible. It helps you to be heard. And most importantly, for everybody around to be able to fix their face, their eyes on you, and to see who is ministering. Traditionally, it keeps you in a sacred place that is dedicated for a specific ritual of reading the word and informing the people the intention of God and the acts that God has wrought with his people even before time, even before the existence of the generation that is now. Follow me closely. In the traditional concept, pulpit is a sacred place where specific information must be carried out from. You don't just come and engage in your secular conversation from a pulpit in the ancient days. It is a sacred place. It is a place that is guided. It's a place that is protected, and it is designed that only specific spiritual matters are carried out. To the second point, the conventional perception or concept of pulpit. You see, when you look at the conventional concept, it is closely related to the traditional. But the only thing with the conventional is that any information, anybody, anything can happen from the pulpit to an audience. Right? Anything can happen. A press can set up a pulpit to deliver any governing message or to talk about anything, either be it truth or be it lies. Why the traditional concept is that it is for a sacred and a spiritual purpose, but the conventional, it can be used for anything. Can be used for anything. Then when we come to talk about the spiritual concept of a pulpit, you see, the spiritual concept of the pulpit drives us to the origin of the spiritual origin of what pulpit is, where pulpit stems from. It is the spiritual concept that helps us to understand that the earthly structure of pulpit that defines our traditional and conventional behavior of passing a message across. It is the spiritual that helps us to understand and to establish in us that the true essence of a pulpit is not the physical structure. The true pulpit stems from the life and the spirit of a man. The spiritual help us to understand that the definition of a pulpit is not literally by what is observed. It is by the intake of what is inbuilt in man, the design that is in the spirit of a man as regarding to the matter called the pulpit. Because it is the spirit that actually brings the inspiration that defines and create the decorum that happens from the stage or from the platform known as pulpit. So without the spiritual getting it right, there is no way there will be a right ministration on the physical pulpit. Why this message is bringing us to the consciousness of the true state of a pulpit, it's also to help us understand that where we begin to literally and physically declare and call a pulpit, we must begin to harness the potential therein right from our spirit and to bring it out. So the spiritual concept helps us to understand the spirituality that governs and that covers for the physical pulpit that we have in churches, in meeting places, in crusades, wherever you stand, it begins to tell you that whatsoever you do on this platform that is physical, it's a reflection of what is in the platform that is in your spirit. So a man must begin to walk his way through to understand that the sacredness of his physical pulpit is dependent on the sacredness of his spirit. There is a spirit in man, the Bible said, and the breath of the Almighty giveth him understanding. So it is the spirit that inspires and that empowered you in order to have an empowered and an inspired pulpit that can transform lives and change every situation that comes before your physical pulpit and even in this world. I encourage you this day, hold on to that map and ensure that you give your best by tuning into your spirit in order to navigate through and understand what the signals and what the heartbeat of the Spirit of God is to you, to your generation. God bless you. See you in the next video as we begin to deal more with the matter, the sacredness of the pulpit. Do share, like, tell a loved one, and invite a friend. God bless you.